Alright, so I'm back working on the retaining wall. It's going to be my part 2 retaining wall video. I'm continuing on with my gravel footer, getting it leveled out. I went ahead and set one railroad tie in there. I got it leveled. I'm working on the next one right now. I had 4 tons of gravel delivered last week from a guy I saw on Facebook Marketplace. This was the best spot he could put it in. I asked him if he could dump it in the driveway a little closer, but he couldn't get turned around, so he dumped it here. It doesn't look like much, but I think it'll be plenty. This is 4 tons. But got to do everything the hard way, so I'm shoveling it into a wheelbarrow and then wheelbarrowing it over there and then shoveling it out of the wheelbarrow into the trench. And then I'm compacting it with a hand tamper and setting railroad ties on top of that. Alright, so trying to use my biggest ties at the bottom. They'll vary like half an inch to an inch on the height and width. So I want to have the sturdiest, widest ones on the ground to distribute that weight of the wall the most. So I've got one over there already. It was the first one that I knew that was the biggest, and then this, I measured all of them. This is the next biggest. So unfortunately, it's also the farthest one away. So I'll carry this one a long ways. It really doesn't feel too heavy though. I don't know. Pretty average for these things. Today is at least a lot less exhausting than unloading all of them was, because it's more like moving one every hour compared to 32 of them in 2 hours. Here's what it's looking like. Cause set that one, or I set the first one in place and then leveled it and then staked it down, and then I've been leveling this out. Had to add a lot of gravel to get this one in line with that one, but this is the one I just carried over. Gonna drill my holes. See, I got my drill with my 5/8 auger. Drill a couple of holes. Got my rebar here that I'm staking it down with, cutting it with the bandsaw. Staking them about 3 feet into the ground. You can see, despite my attempts, this one is still just a little bit smaller than that one. That one's just a hog. That was the biggest one that I had. But the heights are pretty close. I could probably scoot a little more gravel underneath this one, get them perfectly level across the top. I can also tell by looking at it, it's leaning down like this, which isn't what I want, because I don't want to be leaning like this as I go up. so gonna have to tilt it back and push some gravel in under the front. That other one actually looks like it's kind of leaning down too, even though I checked it with level. I definitely would rather them be angling back this way than angling out this way. Make it look like the wall's failing if it all starts pushing over. But might go ahead and stop and eat lunch here because I'm starving. All right, so I'm taking one of my mini breaks because all of this is just such strenuous labor. The gravel's heavy, those railroad ties are super heavy. I don't have any way to, I think I said that already, but I don't have a way to move that gravel besides just shoveling it into a wheelbarrow and then shoveling it out of the wheelbarrow into the trench. So that's what I've been doing all day. So progress is insanely slow, even though it's such hard work. So where I'm at, I've got 2 and about 3/4 ties down right here in this trench. I got the camera set up like right in the trench, but I'll show you in a second. So I'm gonna step up from this next one because right here where the camera is sitting, there's a lot of the roots from this tree, and I understand it's gonna add instability to the wall, not cutting those roots out and just doing a continuous footer the same depth all the way across, but I really don't want to risk the life of this tree to get a more solid retaining wall here. I may end up regretting that in the future, but I've got a couple of like major roots coming through here that I feel like it's going to be, I feel like it could potentially be bad for the tree if I cut those. So I'm stepping up so that I can come up and over them. So I'm coming over a couple right here, and I'm still going to be below grade just a little bit, but with the next one where it returns off of here. Another thing is my water meter is right here, so there's a water line that runs across right here. So I'm gonna stay very shallow with my footer here and tie into this one. The footer is actually pretty deep here, but the wall is just gonna step up a little bit more. But I've got a deep trench dug, but I'm filling in with gravel right now right here. So it's pretty much gonna be I gotta fill this in a little bit more gravel, and then I'll add in a new tie that I hope that it's the right length where I can add one and it ends about right here. I'm hoping that's shorter than 8/6, and I'll end up with a like a full length and then a little stub right here on the end, because this wall is going to be tying into it. I'll drill a hole through the two, I'll overlap them. So I want them to sit like this, and then I'll drill through them and I'll stake through and then switch, stack them, interlock them as they go on or go up. So that's what's next. Fill that in the rest of the way, dig this trench up to here, and then I'll stack a little tie on top of this rock, and then we'll build up to here, continue across until it's about this high, and then I'll start backfilling. And once the wall starts coming up, I'll have to start adding in the dead men, which I'm dreading because I've got all this. When I dug the trench, I scooped a lot of the dirt. I had to go both ways because with my backhoe, I didn't have a good place to put the dirt besides just right outside the trench both ways. So I'll have to dig this back out everywhere where a dead man goes to give myself room to add that in. I've got a lot of dirt back here in the back. I got one spot dug out pretty good where I can have one, but down there at the end it's pretty bad. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. This is my step up right here. This isn't this, I've got this whole wheelbarrow I'm about to add to this. This isn't built up as high as it's gonna go. It's built up about as high as it's gonna be on that side. So this way when I set the next tie on there, it'll just be perfectly right at the end of that one at flush with the top. The bottom of this one will be flush with the top of that one, and that steps it up. And then I'm hoping that level from there is at least close to right where this root is, so that I can just come up and over the top of it. I'll dig another footer on the other side, just let it span across that root. And then I'll dig a small little trench, probably only like 4 inches deep, back to here. And then I'll cut little ties in and stack them up until I'm up to the point where I can start spanning across and get it up to a little higher than where the drive, probably close to level with the carport slab. And then this is what I'm talking about, where I gotta add those dead men in. All this is full of dirt, so I'm gonna have to dig again to dig a lot of this out. I'll get my backhoe back around and up here and dig out trenches where I can tie in dead men anchors across. And it looks like I'm gonna end up having plenty of gravel. It actually looks like I barely even touched that, and I'm almost done with the footer. I'll add this wheelbarrow load here, that should finish this off. Then I just got a little trench here, and then the rest of it can all be for my backfill drainage. And I got some of the perforated pipe today. So I got four tubes of this. That's 40 feet. So I figure there's a good chance, a few of you probably noticed in that last clip, that this is corrugate or perforated pipe, and this is solid pipe, and this is solid pipe. So I guess I'm returning these two, and these two I can use. Okay, no, so this is perforated. This is perforated, this is solid, that's perforated, and that's solid. So this one and this one need to go back to Lowe's. This one and this one I can use. They had them all mixed in. I just grabbed 4 out of the same thing at Lowe's, didn't even check, so they mixed them together. Alright, let me show you what I've been doing all day. This is actually kind of the easy part compared to shoveling the gravel. I don't know, there's a frog under here. I'm trying to, don't want to, okay, he's out of the way. These babies are about 200 pounds apiece. Let me move the camera. Show you how far I'm taking this thing. I'm holding the railroad tie. Okay. So it's the next day. I got my pipes exchanged on my way home last night. I really didn't feel like going to Lowe's, but I knew I also wasn't gonna feel like going this morning, so I went in there covered in dirt and still soaking with sweat, but got them exchanged. So I got all perforated pipe. What I've been working on is right here. So I moved that little stack of rock stairs you guys may have seen. I stacked them all up right there. They make a nice little end wall for that part of the porch. And I've started scratching out my footer for this return. I'm hand digging this whole thing because you can see there's the water meter, and then there's where the line comes off, so it goes directly through. I know I'm digging right over my water line, so I'm not going very deep at all. I know that thing is at least 18 inches down because the frost line here is 18 inches. So I'm only going to go down 4, maybe 6 inches with this footer. It's not like this is going to be a portion that's holding a whole lot of weight, and it also is going to be up against the porch, so there's not going to be much chance of, there's not going to be a whole lot of force this way on this one. But I still want that for drainage. And I'm going to have to do something about this. I think I haven't really investigated this yet, but I'm pretty sure that this just catches all the water that comes under over there, because I noticed when it rains, water kind of runs down the side of the house and then it runs under the deck. So I think they added this drain pipe to catch that stuff and push it out. There's quite a bit of water flows out of that when it's raining. So I'm gonna have to come up with a good drain, because right now it's dug a little hole. You can't really tell now that I've added dirt to it, but it's kind of dug a hole there from the water, and it creates standing water. I don't want that right at the face of the retaining wall. So that's something else that I got to do at the same time. But this is where we are. This one still isn't leveled. I need to come, I think I'm gonna have to come down with this side, because it still needs to come up over there like a lot to get level. And if I come up any more than where it is right now, I'm already above this one. I'll be way above it. So then whenever I stack my next one in, I'm gonna have a step down that's gonna be like half a railroad tie, and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm gonna bring this side down, and the way that I'm gonna do that without disturbing this root is I'm gonna notch into this railroad tie with my chainsaw. Cut it out, that way it can kind of cap over the top of that root. I've had, just since yesterday, I've already had several more people say that I need to just cut this tree down. I really don't want to do that. It's a nice, big, healthy oak tree. And I just feel like, I don't know, it feels immoral to me to cut a tree like that down just for my stupid retaining wall. But it is close to the house. If it winds, and that's west, so that is the direction wind's always blowing. If a storm ever came through here, it would fall directly on the house. I don't feel right. I don't feel right doing it. I like that tree. So this is the way I'm doing it instead. Maybe I'll regret that, but that's what homeowners insurance is for. So I just got a comment from a guy saying he wants to see more of the struggling working on this place. I said can do, because there's a lot of suffering involved with this. Today's better than yesterday. It was really hot, really sunny, and really humid. Today it's not that hot, but twice as humid. So better, not a whole lot better. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's probably like mid-70s. So I definitely don't think it's worth complaining about. So the process is shovel it into the wheelbarrow, take it where it goes, shovel it out. Done that about 900 times. I could dump it into this, but I've got a lot more in the wheelbarrow than I need, and I'm worried about having a catastrophic wheelbarrow dumping incident and losing all my work. So I only need to put like probably 10 shovelfuls in this trench. So I'd rather play it safe and not end up having to do work twice. So I'll show you what I've done here. So we established earlier, this side needs to come down because I don't want to bring that side up anymore and throw off my line with getting all those other ones in line with this one. So what I did was I set my 4-foot level on top of this railroad tie, and then I picked that side up till it was level, and then measured the distance that I had to the ground. And then I came over here and let me roll this over. Came over here and I marked each side of that root that I'm wanting to straddle, and then that's the distance that it needed to come up over there, which is how far this side needs to come down. And I'm gonna take my chainsaw and just do 100,000 cuts into it to that depth, and then knock it all out with my axe, and hopefully that works. Okay, so there we are. Several cuts down. Got lucky here and this chunk all just popped out. I don't know if these railroad ties are just really hard or if my chain is just super dull, but it's hard to cut with my little baby electric saw. But I'm gonna see if I can knock that out with my splitting maul, and maybe this will be kind of satisfying. Okay, not too bad. I was kind of afraid this like stuff wouldn't split apart at all. Maybe that'll work. Obviously got to dig my gravel back down that I added in because I built it up too high, thinking that I could build that side up high enough. But it's already built up where it's above that tie, and I still need to come up that much to get it level. So got to start going down. Okay, so got this one level now. It's still a little bit higher than that one on that end, but I don't want to go any even deeper into this side. So we'll just figure that transition out some other way. I'm thinking maybe I could throw this next one out just a little bit, and then I can throw the next one out just a little bit, and maybe it'll all taper out evenly without being really noticeable out of level portion. So I'm ready to cut my piece that returns back here. I haven't staked this one down yet because I want to have it cut and kind of hold them up and check for square before I stake them down. But I almost made a mistake because I was about to cut this tight, but this wall is going to need its own drain pipe. So I'm going to have a pipe that runs continuous all the way over there, and you haven't seen it yet, but I left that last tie short about 6 inches so that I had room to go around with my drainage pipe. So this one is going to have its own that comes out and just jays around right here. It's not going to be like this. It'll be back and then curve and drain out, and that'll be more reason for me to give a little bit more of a French drain spot type thing right here. So looks like 48 inches will be just about right. That gives me about an extra inch. And then I think I'll just use like some of these. I got so many natural stones around the property. Once I have the wall built, I'll just kind of stack them in, center that up in there, make it look like a nice little rock feature out of the side of the retaining wall. All right, got everything in place where I like it. Had a little incident right here. Dropped a railroad tie on that pipe and crushed it. That'll happen. So I went ahead and cut my stakes out of my rebar and placed them. You see I cut this one a whole lot shorter. That's just because that water line, the guy from the local water department called me when he was marking this because he saw me digging this trench. And he was like, hey, he was like, I don't know how much more digging you're planning on doing, but you know, he explained that I'm extremely close. And he was like, I'm not going to guarantee that where I'm marking it is exactly where it is. So he said, don't stay near it. So there wasn't really a good way I could avoid that spot. So I'm just putting an extremely short spike right here where it can't go down far enough. The next piece of railroad tie I put on here is going to span across this and then stake into this one. So that'll tie these together, and this one will be staked down good, and then that one will have that short stake in it. So I still feel good about it, the way that it'll be tied into the ground. That one wore my forearm out. I have been driving these in with the back of my splitting axe, but I'm just not that accurate with that thing. So I noticed yesterday I'm actually better off using this 3-pound sledge. Whew, I'm getting not very accurate with that either. I'm getting so fatigued. And this clip is once again going to be for that guy that said he wanted to see more suffering. The process of moving these things. Well, as you can see, the wall's starting to go up now. I didn't record the first two because I was just too excited to start actually seeing it start to turn into a wall instead of just a trench. But it's looking pretty nice so far. It looks like everything's staying level with the second run. This will have to be the end for today because I'll get this pinned in, but after this, at this course, I'm gonna have to start adding my dead men. And I gotta look up again. I think it's like one every 10 feet, or maybe they can be more spread out than that, I'm not sure. But if it is one every 10 feet, that's gonna be 3, because it's a 30-foot long wall. Of course, only, let's see, 8, 12, 16, only 16 foot of it is this low, or about 17 feet of it, 17 and a half feet of it is this low because it steps up right there. It's still its first course farther down there. So I guess I'll probably need to just do 2 if it's every 10 foot. It's probably one over here, one, or maybe probably pull them in, maybe pull it in about 5 foot off each side, and then do a dead man, which is kind of sucks because that's gonna put me like right in this super tall mound of dirt that I'm gonna be digging a dead man anchor into. You see right there, that'll be my outlet for my drain. So that pipe can just run right along the back and then just shoot right out that spot right there. That keeps it all the way at the bottom, and then I'll fill in with gravel on top of it. So I don't know if you guys can tell from your angle, but I'm keeping these back about 1/2 to 3/4 from the bottom row, just to step them back every course. That way the common theme along the wall is angling back this way to make it stronger, resist that force this way. That'll help prevent it from ending up leaning back with the pressure. It gives it that natural angle back into the wall. Doing 3 stakes per tie to hold them together. Drilling just as deep as that auger bit can go, and then cutting them to the same length as the bit, driving them in. Well, here's my stopping point. You can see I got my pipe coming through here now. It has a little bit of an upward slope from about right here forward, so I'm gonna have to make sure that that's corrected before I start burying anything. But obviously they're not connected or anything. I just threw them in there so they're not in the back of my truck all week. You can see that one that got crushed. I got plenty of extra, so I can cut that part out, because I'll just need to connect a piece to this one just to make it the rest of the way to here, and then I'll just need a little short one to go and out that way, and then this one will go continuous downhill all the way and out to that one, and then this one will just be a downhill and around and out to right there to some sort of French drainage that is yet to be designed or built. But here we are. You can see that first course is pretty much going to be completely below grade. Looks like entirely, probably completely below, and then maybe part of the way onto the next one. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do right here at this transition. I'm kind of hoping I can maybe find a really small, these railroad ties all vary in size. So I was thinking maybe if I can find a really small one to put on top of that one and span across, and then maybe I can get a really big one right here and butt into them. Maybe the tops will end up being close to flush. I think that can probably happen. Yeah, there's the look. It's very exciting to see it finally turning into something. It's insane how long this has ended up taking. I totally expected this to be like a 2-weekend project, and now I don't even know. I don't know how many weekends I've been working on this now. At least three, but I think pretty sure 4 weekends, if you include the weekend I spent which I was pretty much just learning how to use my backhoe. I need to make a video about that backhoe I bought from Harbor Freight. It's pretty nice. But I spent like 2 whole days just kind of playing around in that hillside, just figuring it out and stuff. So if you include that one, I'm, I think 4 weekends into this. So, as always, thanks a lot for watching. This whole weekend has been a little bit surreal to me, how fast this channel is growing and gaining subscribers and how many people are commenting and are actually interested. I just recorded and posted my 500 subscriber special earlier. A lot of support on that video too, which is, like I said, it's just not what I expected from this channel. It's a lot more positive than I was thinking it would be. But thanks a lot for your views and comments and support. It's really a pretty big deal to me. So thanks for watching.